Cut to the Chase podcast, guys. This is Cut to the Chase podcast. Thank you. I am your host, Mr. Chase Abel. Thank you very much for tuning in. We are here with today's episode, and yes, this is a special episode, our NBA Finals recap. Oh yeah. Brought to you from Boston, Massachusetts, here at WFN Studios. I am here with my friend, co-host as well, Nicky Neighborhoods. We are here on Monday evening to recap the NBA Finals, Game 1 and 2. Wow, guys, Boston Celtics versus the who the fuck they playing again? No, so like
the Warriors.
The Warriors, the Golden State Warriors. Game 1 in the books, guys. Game 1 in the books. Game 2 in the books. So we'll start, with Game 1 recap, and then we'll lead into a Game 2, and then we'll get, we'll talk a little bit more, and hopefully Game 3 is Wednesday here in Boston. So the first two games was in Golden State. Well, not in Golden State, in San Francisco. They're called Golden State. No, actually, California's called the Golden State, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I'm gonna lead us into this one if you don't mind. We'll do it quick.
Go ahead.
So NBA Finals. We're on Game 2 right now. This is being recorded after Game 2. The first game, Celtics blew out the Warriors 120-108. That was on Thursday, June 2nd. More recently, yesterday, when this is being recorded, Celtics lost. They took an L, 88-107. Warriors in arguably the most chippy game I think the Celtics have faced this entire playoff run.
Dude, I remember you told me on the last one of our first NBA episode that we talked about. You were telling me that who you would think that would be the key person in the series, and you said Jaylen Brown. I think I mentioned somebody else. I think I might have said Al Horford or someone else. I'm gonna defer to you. You were absolutely right. After watching Game 1 and 2, Jaylen Brown is gonna have to be the key factor in this
Totally. Series. Yeah. I mean,
I saw it when he did Game 1 when Tatum in the fourth quarter missed a couple shots with like 4 minutes to go, and then Tatum said, "Okay, I need to." He scored 5 points in a row, a 3, and he drove to the basket and hit a 2 or a jump shot, one of the two. And I was like, "Okay, Jaylen needs to kind of take on that role of being like, all right, Tatum, you're cold. I need to take it over."
Yeah, that's the classic 1-2 punch, and like what I'm seeing that I kind of get nervous about is like only one can have a good game. Like, like I don't want that to be a pattern of like.
Have to be a pattern.
No, what I'm saying is like, like I don't want to see Jaylen Brown drop 30, and Jason Tatum goes 0 for whatever. I kept seeing this throughout the playoffs, and I don't know. I'm not really going off of stats or anything. Why? Right. Although maybe I should be the data guy. I feel like I should be the data guy. You should be the hot take guy. Whatever. I just feel like Jaylen Brown, like whenever he does well, Jason Tatum like has a shit game, complains to the refs. Like, I don't know. I feel like Jason Tatum wants to be the guy, and he is the guy.
Well, he is the guy.
But being the guy also means like contributing to the flow of the game and doing whatever you can to let the team win. Yeah,
yeah. Well, you can see it in Game 1 when he had, I believe, 13 assists.
Good point.
So when they were all balanced. Everybody scored. I think it was 4 players that had like almost double digits.
Well, so let's do so. Game 1, we'll look at here, was not an impressive. I mean, Jason Tatum, 12 points, 13 assists.
Yep.
Al Horford. Game 1 is when the Celtics 6-man, the Celtics bench, really their role players stood up. You got Al Horford with 26, Jaylen Brown with 24, Marcus Smart 18, Derek White 21. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's that's kind of where I feel like the Celtics, when their role players are stepping up, that's when we blow teams out of the water.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, 100%. Actually, I want to add another key player that I think is going to be a key contributor. A key is White.
Yeah.
White.
Oh, he's stepped up and he's shown
Yeah.
I was the starting point guard on the Spurs, or I think he was the starting point guard.
He was on the Spurs. I don't know if he was a point guard, but he's not a point guard. He's more of a 2-3. But he could bring up the ball and set the If you're an NBA friggin' guard, like if you're just a guard, you can bring up the ball and pass it. That's what it is now. It's
Yeah,
not like
that's
there's
so
no
true.
true fucking set up offenses anymore.
Honestly, if you're in a rec league and you're Joel Embiid could be a point guard in a very successful rec league.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
And these NBA players are so fucking good when they play amongst common,
Oh yeah, it's night and day. But game one we won. The Celtics won, right? Were you impressed by the way they came out strong and how the game was played?
I think it was great. Again, Jason Tatum, he tried 13 assists. Yeah. Double-digit assists shows it's all right, I'm not working right now. Let me facilitate. So great effort and great leadership on his part.
Right.
Through action.
Great game by Horford.
Great game. I think everyone was super excited, right?
Yeah.
I was blown away. I'm like, what the fuck? This can't be.
This is where it kind of showed me how good the Celtics are. Third quarter.
Yep.
Start of the third quarter. They go up 7-0. They go on a 7-0 run.
Yeah.
Coming out of halftime.
Yep.
And they make a 7-0 run, if I'm not mistaken. And it went from 13-point lead to a 7-point lead. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yep.
Or yes, it was from a 14-point lead, then it came to a 7-point lead. And then that's when I felt like the confidence kicked in for them. And then from there, we're just now it's just a 2-possession game. Well, 3-possession, but from there. Game 2, different story, right? Mm-hmm. They reversed it. Golden State had a great third quarter and just kept on going, and we couldn't catch up.
Yeah. So they. Plus, I think so. Game 2, we actually started out strong. The first quarter we started out strong, and then I think halfway through this or the beginning of the second quarter is when they just started getting steam. And Golden State, when they get steam, it's all cylinders. Plus, the refs were not.
Oh, the refs! I know
You can't be tick-tacky calling little fouls here and there, and then let the most over-fucking rated player ever to touch a basketball, in Draymond Green, get away with the shit that he was getting away with.
Overrated.
I think he's one of the most overrated fucking players in the NBA.
You have to break. In what?
I think he's
I think you're just mad that he has a more successful podcast than us.
Oh, that's absolutely it. Because it's not a good listen.
Some people would say it is.
Well, I have a couple other recommendations that they can listen to that seem
right.
to be doing well as well.
Crate and Barrel magazine. Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't find him. If he played in the Celtics, I would love him. And that's what pisses me off.
Yeah.
Because he's our goon.
He's our guy.
He's
the type of guy that would fit great on the Celtics.
Because he is to play in the NBA. You have to be a talented basketball player. Yeah. You have to be, a 1% talented basketball player
in the world. Yeah.
So he's that, obviously, but I just look at how he just disrupts things, and he's just just his whole essence, and that's put him in the same category as Pat Beverly. Put him in the same category of Marcus
saying
Smart.
He's overrated based on performance. You're just saying you're just the antics and things like that bother you.
The antics bother me, but also he's gonna go. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. You think he's gonna go get into the Hall of Fame?
I have to look at his numbers, but I don't know.
When would you draft him, I guess? Help me understand. Who would you take him over? I think that's a better question. It's like, who would you take Draymond Green over?
Well, let me give you this scenario.
Sure.
Ben Wallace from the Detroit Pistons.
I'm very familiar with Ben's work.
Okay. Hall of Famer. Similar type player. Defense first. Not a great offensive player. Disrupts things. Tough. Not as he doesn't have the antics as like Draymond. But Draymond actually, his presence is felt more. Or at least it seems like it.
I disagree.
Throughout the game.
I disagree. I think Ben Wallace is a rim protector. I think he could guard anyone on the floor.
So does Draymond.
1
through 5.
So Draymond's career stats, he's 8 points a game. I'll give him 9. It's 8.7. So 9 points a game, 1 block, 1 steal, 7 rebounds.
He won't. Now he's not getting Hall of Fame with those numbers.
No,
he'll go down as one of the great Golden State Warrior team members for sure. But he's not going into the Hall of Fame with those numbers.
No. And so you just look at like,
not with those numbers. No.
Yeah, I don't. You know what? Like, so he's what, a power forward, a 6'6" power forward.
If anything, he's undersized and overrated.
Yeah, look, I just don't get. He's not my cup of tea. He's not my cup of tea.
Okay.
I look at him and I just go. I look at his game. It's like personal.
One of the best defensive players ever in the NBA to play.
I don't think that's.
Has he ever made first team all defense? I think he has.
I don't think he's even the best one of the beat. I don't even think he's top 5 best defensive players that ever play the game.
No, he's not. He's not.
Yeah,
but you can't. I mean, I'm going based on like now and what the current NBA, players are now. He's one of the top NBA defensive players in the members now.
So he was named to the All-NBA team twice. Second team,
okay,
and third team. He was once the second team and then once the third team, and then named to the NBA All-Defensive team 5 times. He was the first. Okay, so 5 All-NBA defensive teams, first and second teams. Okay, all right, that's fine. I would still take a lot of power forwards over Draymond Green.
Okay, I think players like Draymond Green unfortunately seem to always get like, I don't know. I feel like they always seem to get kind of the short end of the stick when it comes to people rating them, because they kind of hide like under superstar players that are on their team, and they never really get the full recognition of the other things that they bring to the table that's just as good when you're part of a team. Energy is huge. Leadership is huge. And I think the biggest thing that Draymond Green is known for, that he doesn't get enough recognition for, is that he holds people accountable on his team at any given moment, at any given time. A perfect example, Kevin Durant, when he had the situation with him.
Yeah.
So
who else besides Kevin Durant has he held accountable? He doesn't hold Steph Curry accountable.
Doesn't need to.
Yeah, he doesn't have to hold any. I think the only person that he held accountable was Kevin Durant.
No. He's held like other people accountable, but he's not going to hold Steph accountable. I mean, he probably holds him accountable, but in different ways.
I get what you're saying, and my only thing is just I'm not a fan. Which I think is the most biased way of analyzing something. It's just like,
don't like him,
you just don't like pork fried rice, so you're going to throw all of Chinese food out.
Yep.
No, I see his value. Obviously, I'm not fucking stupid, but I just see it as, to me, for the money that he makes, I think it's a little overrated. I'd rather have Marcus Smart. Now I just went full Boston.
Now you went, well,
listen. I could have named any other player in the NBA, but no, I'd rather have Tom Brady.
But if Draymond Green happened to come to the Celtics, you would be...
Well, his last name's Green. Of course. I'd welcome him with open arms.
Just like a Boston fan, just be like, Fuck
Draymond, is that Irish?
Fuck that guy over there. I've always hated him. And breaking news: Draymond Green just got traded to the Boston Celtics for a undrafted free agent. Fucking great pick. This is fantastic. He's gonna help us. He's gonna lead us. Boston fans are so fucking like hypocritical. Like in their like,
all you give a fuck about is Coke and Xbox.
It doesn't matter who you are. Like as long if you're just on the Boston team, like it's just you're good. Brian Scalabrine.
It's a cult mentality.
Yeah,
it's very cultish, and I think as long as I think they talk about like Boston athletes, as long as you work hard, and do your best to win. But the second piece of that is acknowledge the city. Mm-hmm. Like Kyrie never really acknowledged the city in that way. I think he did shout out like his dad played at BU.
Yeah.
Whatever, but like he never really embraced the city in that way.
Not like a Shaq. Remember Shaq came in?
Shaq was here for what, a year?
When he
people
first
fucking fell in love with him.
When he first was actually, I think the first week when he was on the team, he went to Harvard Square and tweeted, "I'm in Harvard Square,"
and sat there. Remember when he sat there still? He was like a mime. But see, like. He's a brilliant marketer, and he's someone that knows how to play the game.
Yeah,
Kyrie doesn't want to play the game.
No, he's not. He's not about no games. He's about the business, and that's it. But yeah, going back to the Celtics though. So game 1 we won. Game 2 we lost. Game 3 is going to be on Wednesday night, June 10th. June 8th. If I'm not mistaken.
Whenever you're listening to this episode is probably
So
when the game is.
Game 3. So game 3. What do you think is going to happen? We're back home.
I think we're back home. We're in Boston. It's a 9:00 start, which I don't understand.
Well, you know why?
I think we're gonna. Yeah, I think we're gonna win this game, and then I think we're gonna have a close. I think the same exact thing that happened last series is going to happen this series. It's going to go to game 7.
So you're basically saying this is going 7.
This is going 7, and I don't know who's going to. I really genuinely don't know who's going to win. I want to say Boston, but Golden State I just think is so consistent with their offense, and we're so spotty. I feel like.
Yeah, this is what I analyze. I think that Golden State's not used to a team that can play defense for 48 minutes.
That's fair.
They're not used to a team that can consistently play pressure defense. When I'm talking about pressure defense, it's like switching off screens, running through screens, calling things out, taking charges, like. The the Celtics aren't shaped. Like, you know what I mean? It's way harder to play defense than it is to play offense. If you ever played like basketball high level, like people, you just would agree. So I just don't think Golden State Warriors, and also we've had a harder road to the finals than the Golden State Warriors in terms of the competition. Sure. I mean, let's just say it for what it is. Golden State. I mean, I think their first team that they played was the Utah Jazz. They were like. I'm sorry. The Denver Nuggets, they were like depleted. They had injuries. That was an easy one. You had the Phoenix Suns, right? I mean, aside from like Chris Paul and like Booker,
Booker didn't even play.
Yeah, he didn't. It was not even like a thing, right? Dallas Mavericks, like come on. The only guy that was scoring was Luka Doncic. Who else was helping him?
Yeah.
Look at the Celtics had to go up against. First freaking series, Brooklyn Nets, Kyrie and KD. The top 10 players in the league. Right? Then second round, who they play? The NBA Finals champions, Milwaukee Bucks.
Yep.
You had to go against them. They're physical, right? Miami Heat. Like, so the Golden State Warriors, I don't think they're just used to a team that can play defense for 48 minutes like the Boston Celtics. You know, they switch, and they're just tough. And also 1 through 7, 1 through 8, everyone could score on the Celtics. If you take out Curry, Clay, who's their main consistent offensive player on the Golden State Warriors?
If
Curry has a bad game,
Andrew Wiggins,
barely.
Jordan Poole,
if he's hot.
Draymond Green. I mean,
So that's what I'm saying. Celtics, Brown, Tatum, Smart, Horford. Like,
It's just
you
a
know?
timing thing. It's
Grant
it's very
Williams?
much a mental thing with them. The Celtics, it's a
mental thing.
consistent mental consistency.
Even on game 2, I don't know if you noticed this, when they were up 30, almost 30 points, 29 points, and then Coach Ime took out the starters with I think it was 8 minutes left, something like that. He was just like, yeah, they're up 30 points. Let's just get some other guys, get some other time. The second team, they brought it down to 22 points.
Yep.
With I think 5 minutes to go, and for 6 minutes to go, and I was saying to myself, hey, if they get a couple stops and they bring it to 17 or 16, first team is going in. And they couldn't get over that hump.
And they couldn't,
get out, and I was like, damn it. I wanted them to kind of just because they did in game 1.
Yeah, I think.
What do you think?
What is that?
Mental.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or there's not a lot of fatigue on this Celtics team, which I'm kind of, everyone's much younger, or their stars are much younger. I feel like Marcus Smart might be approaching his apex as far as, kind of his physical, the beatings that he's taken year in and year out and that he continues to take. He's always on the floor. He's always hustling. When does his plateau hit? When do we start to see Marcus not?
It's when his heart feels like he doesn't have it anymore.
Now that is a Boston response. I love that.
I mean, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He's just because he leads with his soul. He's the type of dude that he leads everything on the floor. He's a passion. Everything is based on his soul.
Yeah.
It's never gonna be me and you and your sister and Shine fucking playing house up there.
He's kind of a guard Kevin Garnett mentality wise defensively.
Yeah, that's a good comparison. Man, I think Draymond wants to be Kevin Garnett. When I see that hit, Draymond actually reminds me of a Farley. Wow, great word.
Rest in peace.
A much less superior and skills wise than Kevin Garnett. He's just got the attitude and the tenacity.
Yes. Yeah. They all. I mean.
Yeah.
I guess Draymond. You could put Draymond, Marcus, Kevin Garnett in that pool. But yeah. So we'll see. I mean, but I think game 3. So what's your score? What's your think on game 3? Score wise, what do you think?
I think the Celtics win.
And how should they start to get what do you think how they should play?
I think the Celtics are going to win 119 to 117. Or I think they're going to win 120 to 115.
Okay.
And I think Jason Tatum's going to have a big game. And I think Jaylen Brown's going to be invisible.
Invisible?
I don't think he's going to do well. And I think their role players are going to step up.
Okay. So we get the win. Tatum has a big game. Brown will be part of the game, but not offensively.
I think that's the only way that Tatum has a big game.
As if Brown
is kind of silent in the background, which I don't like. I like Jaylen Brown's game.
Okay. I mean, I frankly don't give a shit which person Mr. fucking over here.
Starting a riff.
Yeah, you're really getting into it. I just want them to win. I don't care if Tatum has 2 points and Brown has 40.
Well, you got to look at these things because next year or the year, whatever the contracts are up in 3 or 4 years, people's tune are going to be, it's going to be a lot different. Jaylen Brown is going to be looking for a max contract.
Supermax.
Whatever they do, yeah.
Yeah, he'll get Supermax. Yeah, he'll get Supermax. He'll get Supermax.
He's a 25-5 guy.
Easy.
25-5-4.
He has to do a lot of work to get 25 points though.
Depends on work.
The way his game is, he's a driver, slasher. He takes a lot of dribbles. Tatum doesn't need that many dribbles to get so their game's different. when Tatum, my thing is with Tatum versus Brown when it comes to driving to the basket, Strong is a lot more assertive, and he knows he's a lot stronger.
Yeah.
He doesn't wait. Tatum sometimes kind of waits to draw the foul, and he doesn't really finish the play.
Yeah,
and that's what really and Brown gets to the whole, like, he goes to the foul line, he draws fouls. I want Tatum to kind of have that. Instead of waiting for that foul, I want him to kind of just like, sometimes he'll just do a little floater, he'll try to go a little reverse. I'm just like, just go strong. Just you're 6'10".
Yeah.
Like just elevate.
He's probably stronger than Jaylen Brown. Like that's a good point. Brown goes to the hoop and is trying to make the basket.
Yeah. If it's blocked, he doesn't care. He's going.
Tatum is going to the hole trying to get contact.
Yeah.
And the basket is a second thought.
That's what I see. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I would love for both of them. Hey, listen, fucking, let's be real here. I would love for them if we could sign them both and for them to play the next 10 years together and let them retire as great Boston Celtics. But in this climate with free agency and cap space and this and that, do you see these guys staying together for?
No. I think Tatum. I think. Well, you never know. Actually, I just thought. So I think. I don't think Jason Tatum really gives a shit if it's Boston, if it's LA, if it's Chicago. I think he wants to be the main guy. I think he wants to be the guy. So wherever he can go that will make him the guy and help his legacy to win a championship is what he'll do. So yeah, he very well could stay in Boston because they could say, we want to build a team around you. And you're now in LeBron kind of coaching GM status where you can kind of tell us what to do. I think Jaylen Brown is smart and quiet. Mm-hmm. And I think he's going to go, okay, all right, I'm going to go to Memphis or I'm going to go to, Indiana.
Yeah, or like a Minnesota or something.
He clearly doesn't mind like the cold.
Or Miami or something.
Yeah. Or Miami. Oh my God, Jaylen Brown in a Miami jersey.
He could be like the next Dwayne Wade type of thing, maybe, especially if he like increases his 3-point shot, his perimeter. I mean, his defense is there. Like, obviously, I don't think he's not as explosive as Dwayne Wade. Obviously, I'm not saying Dwayne Wade was a fucking. He made an impact.
He carried the team.
Yeah, he carried a team, especially his second year in the league.
Yes.
So I'm not saying that, but I'm saying is that's with Jimmy Butler and if Jimmy Butler leaves Miami, Brown could just go right in, like step in there, be that 2-guard, 3-guard. Yeah, I hope they find a way to keep these guys together. But who knows? Maybe listen, Greek Freak's contract is. He signed a 5-year max deal. Dude, 3 more years. He's still like 27, like 28. Like, do you trade Brown for something to get somebody, or do you go out and you get someone in free agency?
Oh, I think no doubt they try to trade Brown.
So you want to trade Brown?
I don't want
and
to
not have him and we don't. So you basically, if he is in his last year, you would trade him. To get something out of him? Yeah,
I think if I would have a very candid conversation with him and say, look, it's always going to be Jason Tatum at number 1. You will have a role here, and that role will be to do X, Y, and Z, and you're going to win championships. And that's what our goal is to put you in a position to be one of the greats, one of the Celtics greats. It doesn't matter where you are in the depth chart. As long as you have a ring, you have the chance of being up there in the rafters with everyone and being a winner with Bill Russell and Bob Cousy and Larry Bird. And I think Jaylen Brown is a smart enough guy where he understands the historical value of that. But...
Oh, shit.
But...
That's a but.
I also think that's a lifelong Celtics fan wishing that people felt the same way about the Celtics in their history as I do.
Right.
I think Jaylen Brown, if he's presented with an opportunity, or if we can say like, hey, we know we can get some guy and some picks or whatever, we'll absolutely do that.
Oh yeah. I mean, it would be the smart thing to do. I mean, if he's not giving you, if he's being tentative about his commitment to the Boston Celtics, I mean, I guess you have no choice, right?
That's a great way of putting it. Hold on one second. tentative.
I'm getting some practice here. I'm trying to be an NBA analyst here. So
I think if he's tentative about his commitment to the Celtics, then you have to. That's wow.
Yeah, Stephen A. Smith, watch out.
Yeah, I have to agree, and he is the piece that you move because here's the thing: like Tatum is the big piece. Tatum is you want to trade him, but then you go, he's the once in a couple years player that
couple.
Yeah,
couple.
He
10 years.
Yeah.
There hasn't been a guy that has made an impact like Jason Tatum since Kevin Garnett, since Celtics.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? In terms of maybe I'm not saying in terms of like actual performance, but more for causing
the impact, the actual impact on paper. Yeah. No, I agree. I think we trade Jaylen Brown for a big guy. I could see us doing that, or trading him for. No, actually, I could see us trading for a point guard, a real prime time, maybe 1 or 2 years until he's past his prime point guard.
What point guard would you like? Big player.
Dame Lillard.
Yep, I was gonna say that.
McCollum. He's a two guard, but he could, what I'm saying. He can handle the ball.
Okay, Damon, Lillard, okay, all right.
Because we never really had, besides Rondo, a floor general.
Not like,
yeah.
I don't know why they don't bring him back. He probably doesn't want to come back, but like
he might not want to come
maybe
back
for a year. Just be like, hey, just fucking run this. But maybe he's not. I don't know. Maybe he's kind of up there too in age. I think too. But I like a Ricky Rubio, but he's asking for a lot of money. He's a
Patty Mills. I'd take Patty Mills.
Patty Mills
7 days a week.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Patty Mills. Yeah, for sure. He could shoot.
Let's look at NBA free agents
for next year.
Yeah.
Oh
God, I love this woman, Malika Andrews. We're watching.
She's really good. She's a doll. She's a doll. Or who they could get? Who's a free agent? Like honestly, like they can get him at like for low money, but he would perform like
I know
he would perform like exactly what they want. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's me.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Here we go.
All right.
Okay. 2022. Well, this wouldn't be for 2022, would it?
Nah, well, probably like 20. No, not, well, 23, 24,
Let's look at 20.
Because I locked in for like next year anyways, so.
Okay, Jaylen Brown is a free agent in 2024.
Yeah. So we'd have to trade him in like the 22, 23 season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't see. I could see us making a play for Buddy Hield. I could see us.
I'm not trading Jaylen Brown for nobody.
I could not trade. It would be picks or maybe something. Yeah, no, I don't know. It's interesting.
If I'm trading Jaylen Brown, I want someone to make an impact now.
Yeah.
I'm not trading an all-star dude for fucking a probability.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah. Let's see who's this year. So we got John Wall, Bradley Beal.
John Wall.
Bradley Beal could be one of the worst things that we ever do.
John Wall.
John Wall could be fun.
He's big money though.
John Wall is
he hasn't played.
Not only is he big money, he's like next level stratosphere. He's $42 million a year.
Yeah, he's getting that too. By the way, he's getting that. He hasn't played it, I think, in two seasons.
It's insane.
But hey, guaranteed contracts, NBA day, good for you, baby. You know what I mean?
I like Zach LaVine.
Zach, yeah.
I think him and Tatum would clash though.
Yeah, they kind of have similar type of.
He's more vocal. Zach's a little more vocal.
But we need somebody who's vocal.
That's what I'm saying, and I don't think Tatum will.
I think Tatum needs to be a little bit more vocal.
Yeah.
But then again, Tatum is Tatum, and you can't change someone who they ain't. So, you know, I believe it's gonna have to come from the vocal part of the team has to come from a veteran. Mm-hmm. Marcus Smart, you know what I mean? Someone who's older, has been around the block a few times. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But yeah, there's not. But you actually hit a point. I don't think there's that many point guards as an option.
They're all like shooting guards.
Yeah,
they're all shooting guards. D'Angelo Russell becomes available next year. No, he's good on 2K. I need to separate it.
But he's also like kind of like he's light skinned. He'll bring like light skin. He'll get sensitive.
That energy with Tatum. There's too many lights.
Too
If
many.
White's in the.
There's a lot of light skin sensitivity. Can't be having that. You know.
It's interesting. The free agency is interesting, and it's interesting how do we, I wonder, because Brad Stevens doesn't talk at all. So I wonder how.
That's fucking funny you said that. I don't think I've had a peep from this guy all season.
No.
Is that that's weird, right?
Yeah, I haven't heard anything.
Even when they're doing
him.
good, I haven't heard from him.
He's used to like probably a dingy office in Indiana from his time at Butler. I can't imagine that this guy wants to be in the spotlight.
I don't think I've ever even seen it, like a glimpse of him in the stands, like in the stadium. Like they haven't even showed a picture. Like
every once in a while
they
will, yeah. But like he's not like Danny Ainge, where you know people see Danny Ainge and he's played with Larry Bird. He's a champion. He's an NBA champion. So people look at him and be like, oh, it's Danny Ainge. But Danny Ainge would do he would do TV shows. He was on
EI and stuff like that.
EI and the other one and 98.5 and. Would kind of talk through things and have fun with the guys. Like, what do you think about this? And he's like, I can't answer that or this, that, and the other thing. And so I don't know. I don't know what our mindset is, and I don't know what we're trying to
accomplish.
I think we are in the finals. See, this is such a Boston thing, too. We're so used to being like,
already thinking
what do we need to do to rebuild?
And we're already here. We're at the finals. Like we don't need to do anything. We can keep the same exact team.
We're championship privileged.
Wow.
We have white privilege, but with championships. Wow. Well, probably also white privilege too, for sure.
Wow.
But yeah, we're already like, okay, yeah, no. They should finish this out and beat the Warriors. But what about next year? What pieces are we going to add to next year?
Right.
Every Boston sports fan's a GM.
I feel like every Boston sports fan could think they could be a GM.
They think they are. It's a group of wannabe GMs. Yeah. They'll tell you what they think the team needs to do, and it's in the middle of the season.
Going 7. Do you see Celtics winning Game 3? You said
yes.
Okay, Game 3. Yeah. Game 4. What do you think?
I think they lose. I think they go tit for tat. I think they go on and off.
So it's a fight. It's gonna be. I
think it's a fight to Game 7.
Yeah, but my question is to you: is when can the Celtics, if they can reach a point where they won't have any issues of like keeping a lead and actually really just cementing themselves as the better team? Because I watch basketball from a different lens, so I'm looking at it like, okay, how is a team like operating in this situation, and can they contain this momentum even going through certain like runs that the other team may go against them? Can they contain themselves? Because when I watched the Chicago Bulls in the 90s, like they never really like wavered, even though like other teams like had runs, they knew how to get back in it.
I think because
that maturity factor of like,
So if we're comparing them to the Bulls, my take on this is Jordan was a vocal leader.
Yeah.
He's the alpha top dog. That means Scotty knew. That means if Scotty needed to step up, Jordan would tell him, Scotty, you need to step the fuck up.
Right.
And he would. Anybody would. Steve Kerr.
Yeah.
You need to step the fuck up. Okay, I'm open. Pass me the ball. I'm ready to shoot it. Right. I don't think there's that level of assertion, and I don't think there's that level of chemistry yet I think there's good chemistry. I don't think it's great. I think we're getting there. I think we're like on the way. And yeah, I just think it's tough when you have two quiet stars.
It's interesting, right?
It's tough.
I've never really seen like a team, especially championship caliber, with not really anyone really vocal. I mean, like when I say vocal, I'm not saying like they're just sitting there and like not saying anything. These are grown ass men. They're fucking obviously they're vocal. They're talking on defense. Like when I say vocal, I mean like taking ownership, leading from the front. When Marcus Smart's the only one that I see at certain times. But I think you need another veteran person, especially on the second unit.
Yeah.
That was a thing in the 2008 team that was like very, very like pivotal. The second unit was just as good as the first unit.
Eddie House.
And they had all vocal guys on the second unit. Eddie House was vocal. He's getting your ass.
Yeah.
PJ Brown. People forget about PJ Brown from the Charlotte Hornets. Came and like helped us at the midseason.
Yes.
He was vocal. He was a veteran. That's the thing with the NBA. They don't have any veterans anymore. A veteran is Jaylen Brown, dude, or Jason Tatum, and they're fucking 24 years old, 23 years old.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you have Al. You have
Al. Yeah, you know.
Al.
He's a very polished vocalist.
Yeah, no, I think Al's. Yeah,
different.
I think this team doesn't get to the finals without Al.
No,
there's
no.
not only the production that he brings, because he does bring actual. He'll give you 25 if you need it, in 10, and I think that when you look at Golden State, Steph is the vocal leader. He's just happy.
I don't think he is.
I think Steph's the vocal leader. I think he's happy. I think he tells people. I think
vocal leader
in the flow
over Draymond.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I think.
Okay, I'll let you.
Now you might be right.
I'll let you collect your thoughts on it. Go ahead.
He runs the offense.
Sure.
Draymond doesn't run the offense.
No. Right.
So I think Draymond is the defensive vocal leader.
Okay.
I think he lets people know what they need to do, where they need to be, what they need to do, and calls them out if they don't. But I think Steph is the vocal offensive leader and runs the offense, which is the most redeeming quality of that team.
You know, Draymond brings up the ball and like is the point guard too, right?
He does that too, yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
Right.
But everything runs through Steph.
It does, right?
And Klay Thompson's fine with that because he just knows his role. Everyone has their role. I feel like on the Warriors.
Well, I think that's also like a key thing. When you have people who know exactly what their position is, it's just like Biggie said, live life after death, play my position.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Everybody wants to be the number one guy, right? Sometimes you got to be the number two dude. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's great to you got to like look at yourself and be like, listen, for this situation, I'm the 3 guy, and I have to make the most out of it. Mm-hmm. So I think the Chicago Bulls probably one of the only teams that's the best example of that, because they really only had one. They had Scottie Pippen. I would consider Scottie Pippen at that time a superstar. For sure, because he was, he's fucking phenomenal. And Jordan, but if you take Pippen out and you had Jordan, I mean, who else? If you take Pippen and Jordan out and put them in like over here, who else?
Yeah,
you're talking about like that's like who's that 3-star guy? Kukoc, maybe he's probably the best Tony, 3 guy.
I think the rest of the team. It would be a different person each night. And I don't think they needed it. I don't think they needed it because they were literally just Jordan would give you 30 or 40 or 50 or whatever, whenever he wanted. So I think it was a different league back then where you didn't have to have a third option. I think most recently, in 2008, that's when everyone was, when LeBron went to Miami, that's when they were like, okay, with Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade. They're like, this is now a 3-person team. And then the Celtics followed suit, and then you saw LeBron, and then you saw, iterations of it.
I don't think I want to give Miami the credit for that. I think I want to give the Celtics Big 3 credit for that. They're the ones that initially started the Big 3 situation. They were before the
Oh, were they?
yeah.
Well, the
It was
Lakers.
the year after. That's when he like.
Yeah.
Because you have to understand, we won the championship the first year Kevin came with the big three.
Yeah.
We beat Cleveland. LeBron was on that team.
Yeah.
And LeBron left Cleveland and went to Miami.
Yeah. No, all right. So the Celtics started that. The Lakers tried to trade Chris Paul they tried to have Kobe and Chris Paul on the same team. And that they blocked it.
Yeah. Well, David Stern did. Rest in peace. Shabbat shalom.
But I think now it's all of a sudden a 3-person because it's a much more offensive game.
Sure.
And I don't think the Celtics have Marcus Smart as our 3. As our number 3 go-to.
Well, I would say he puts himself willingly in that situation.
He takes it.
And sometimes he does well in that.
Uh-huh.
Game 1 when he shot fucking 4 threes with 3 minutes left.
Yeah, remember that?
Yeah, I threw my fucking TV, my remote at the TV. It's like the balls on you, Marcus Smart.
Yeah,
the balls to continue to shoot. And I know Tatum's getting like trapped as soon as he comes over the half court, and you're open, and it's like I'm like, but you just missed. Why don't you just give it back to Tatum
or drive,
do a
myriad,
or go to Brown? Like this. Hey, it's like one of those things. You love it and you hate it at the same time. But he also he missed 4 threes with 3 minutes left or whatever, 4 minutes left. But he's also the same guy that gets fouled, drives, and puts us up 4 when he has the 2 foul shots. So it's like you love him and you hate him at the same time.
What happens if the Celtics win the championship? What happens if the Celtics lose the championship?
If the Celtics win the championship, I get to have sex with more white girls.
I don't know how that. You can hear the sirens in the background.
That math did not add up.
But I don't.
That didn't add up.
Yeah.
That didn't add up. Yeah. As you can know, the police probably are getting me right now because they were.
That's the most erratic. It's the most erratic amount of sirens I've ever heard. Someone probably fell off a city bike.
The Golden State Warriors. They get the private escort. They got the private escort.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
Let's see. The Boston Celtics win, and the question was what?
So what happens if the Boston Celtics win
the championship?
Yeah, to the team and to player, whatever. What is your take? Like, what does next year look like? I know we're not even there yet, but let's play. If they do decide, if they can win.
Well, if they do win the championship, in my opinion, first, I think they exceeded my expectations.
Yeah.
In contract, and like. I'm basing it off what they were the first half of the season. Mm-hmm. Second half of the season, I think they went like 32-12 or 28-12 or something, some crazy shit like that. So so they definitely exceeded my expectations. And maybe it probably gives them the team an opportunity to think about, hey, we can do this again if we stick together. Mm-hmm. And you're saying if we lose, what can happen?
Yeah.
If you say if we lose. Maybe Brown starts to think somewhere else to go. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. Because they've been to the Eastern Conference Finals before with these guys too. So they're getting to they're getting there. The question is what pieces helps them get there. Mm-hmm. So I mean, listen, I'm just gonna go out on a limb here. I say, listen, man, if they lose, man, I mean, they probably won't do it, but as soon as he becomes a free agent or is try to get Greek Freak.
Do you think he would like? Do you think he likes Boston? Uniform? You think he likes Boston?
I fucking love Boston, dude. He's a perfect player for Boston.
Yeah,
tough, plays D and offense, quiet, doesn't get in trouble, family kid.
You don't think he's too rooted down in Milwaukee? He seems like the type of personality that would really. And if they don't, I think if they don't go to if they don't go to the championship next year, I think he starts to.
Yeah. Well, he starts to look at where the team's going, who we bringing in, which players are we bringing in, who's gonna come to the Milwaukee Bucks. Listen, their point guard is a little older. Lopez is older. I mean, what other guys except Middleton that he can probably rely on consistently for offensive support? You know,
They got 2 years. I think they got 2 more years in Milwaukee before things start to split apart.
yeah. And I say, hey, listen, you know, hey, you went for fucking KD. I say you even probably go for KD.
I don't think
I don't think KD wants to be in Brooklyn anymore, in my opinion. Let me ask you a question. Let me give you a scenario. KD right now, next year, let's say the Celtics even win. KD still has some fucking bullshit happening in Brooklyn with Kyrie or whatever. And he says, I want to fucking trade. Do you trade for KD?
I don't think it makes sense for those 2 teams to trade because of they're in the same division. And you know, I feel like there could be issues there, but
if KD's next year mid-season's like, hey, trade me, and you know,
I don't know. I don't think someone with thin skin does well in the Boston media market. I don't think. And Boston fans, for as dumb as they look,
well, they hold you accountable.
they hold you accountable in like the Twitter beefs back and forth. Some of the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life was like Boston sports fans posting things on Twitter about athletes. It's like, it's just, they're ruthless in that way. So, but they also love winners.
Yeah.
They also love winners. So I think if you were to ask me, who do you want, Kevin Durant or Giannis? I would go Giannis.
How about Anthony Davis?
No, I think he's past his prime.
Okay, so he's off the thing for you. And these are all potential possible
No, this
things.
is good. This is a good. Yeah, I don't know. I think we had the opportunity, and I didn't think you wanted to come here. Wanted to go play with LeBron, so he's out.
He's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you're just like, yep. You're kind of like that guy in high school that girl that you asked the girl. She said no. You asked the girl to the prom your freshman year. She said no. Now you're a big and bulky, sexy senior guy, and now she wants to take you to the prom. You're just like, no.
Nope.
You had your chance freshman year. I'm with you.
Now, if you asked me in high school, I would have said absolutely yes. I'd go to the prom with you because I had the body of Tayshaun Prince.
Wow. First of all, by the way, great name.
Great name.
Tayshaun Prince.
Tayshaun is such a great name. To me, I just think it's like
great name.
There's no. You hear like Deshaun, and you're like, I should have just went with Sean. Just go with Sean.
Oh boy! All right.
Tayshaun, it's like his own thing.
Deshaun.
Because he spelt it. I think he spelt it TESHAUN.
I thought he spelled it TAYESHAUN.
Oh, maybe I have to look it up. I'll tell you what. I'd take Tayshaun Prince on the Celtics any day of the week.
Oh yeah. 6'10", lefty. Shoots.
Plays defense.
Yeah. But you're saying, okay, well, I guess we'll see if that happens. It's going to be interesting next year. I think it's going to depend on next year to see how well we do the first half of the season. I'll leave you with this. Let me ask you this before we leave. Coach Ime. Quick synopsis of what you think of him, what he's done, and where do you think he fits as a coach with the Celtics going forward for the future?
I mean, what an impressive season.
Didn't win Coach of the Year, by the way.
Yeah, which is bullshit. I think he, like you would see any great coach do, observed the first half of the season. It's very easy as a manager of people to go, okay, I know exactly. I've watched tape. I know exactly what it is that you need to do to fix the situation. And it's like, the tape you watch is from last year.
Right.
This is this year.
Yeah.
It's a completely new mindset, completely new set of situations. So let's observe the first half of the season. It's a long season. You clearly have talent. He saw that. They're just not being utilized in the best possible way.
Okay.
And there's an emotional fragility that most young NBA teams have. They all want to score 100 points. None of them want to play defense. He figured out a way, and he utilized the intelligence. I think we have a very intelligent basketball team. And I think they're led by Marcus Smart and I would actually say Jaylen Brown situationally is the most intelligent. He's up there with like LeBron level of seeing the court, knowing the decision to make.
X and O's, the calculations, the logistics, everything. Gotcha.
And so I think he utilized his players well and motivated them to play defense, which is a tough thing to do. And I think he said, you will see how far you go if you do this. So I would say I give him an A+.
An A+?
Yeah.
Coach Ime was his demeanor pretty much. I mean, it's kind of remarkable to see because at first I'm like, is he too quiet? He's way too quiet for this team.
You never know.
He's not very vocal. He seems like he's very passive on certain things. But then, like you said, I'm wrong. Maybe he's just like you said, he just observing everything, taking everything in, and just and now, because you could tell he's definitely a different coach from the first half of the season and now in the playoffs, because now the Popovich coaching style, you can see in the playoffs and how he is coaching, right? You know what I mean? He's up, he's every single, he's watching, he's taking time outs at certain runs. You'd be like, yeah, you didn't need to take a timeout. You could have let them figure it out. He's I remember one time they fucking off of halftime, the team got the ball, they ran a play, they hit a 3, called a timeout. He didn't even wait. He's like, oh, this is what the fuck we doing?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. He does. He's done a good job of setting the tone of this is our team.
This is what, yeah.
And this is how it's I'm calling the shots and how this team's going to be run. I
he
think
does have control of the team, you would say?
Yeah, I think so. I think
in comparison to other coaches, you think he has more control than other coaches?
I think as much as you can, right? I think a lot of these players are so cerebral because they grow up with so much technology now that they're you can see Tatum and Brown already in their head get 2 or 3 steps ahead of themselves and be like, oh, this isn't going to work, or and they deviate. That's why I think Jason Tatum takes so long.
That's why you think he takes so long?
Yeah.
Because there's a role at this RPMs are just going in his head.
And I think what he'll realize is a lesson that, and I'm complimenting Kyrie.
Slow the game down.
Big fan. Kyrie is, I heard someone else say this, so this is not an original thought, but Kyrie has all these drills that he does, like pull up right, pull up left, pull up center, baseline,
Yeah, that's my routine. You took it with me. Sorry.
But everything he does is reactive. It's not planned out. You can tell when you watch him play, he comes down and he goes, okay, if the play is dictating this, there's a high pick, I'm supposed to go right. I'll go right, and then I'll realize I'm in a situation where the guy hedged me. Now I spin in and split.
So you're saying he's more improving his
He's
things?
improving, but he's improving with a bag of moves
Tricks,
that he knows works. So I think from an individual offensive standpoint that Jaylen Brown is a little bit more advanced in that sense, and Jason Tatum is kind of
figuring it out.
He's figuring out. I think they're both figuring out what is going to work for us.
Yeah, good point.
And that mixed with team defense, it's once they put those things together, then I think they, if they want to, become very hard to beat.
You know what? That's what a great way to segue into these last moments. I think this team that we have, me and you, I think that we work pretty well together. So
some would call us the
to start being an NBA.
The Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Who's who?
So, actually, me and you.
Not aesthetically.
Well, you don't have to say that. You don't have to say that. I mean, but I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
But we will. I was going to leave with something else, but let's leave with this. If me and you were, if we were what 2 duo players me and you would be?
I think Kobe and Shaq. No, you don't. You don't. You give me Shaq vibes.
I'm 5'7".
I'm talking about personality.
Oh, thank you. That's the nicest thing everyone said to me.
I'm saying personality-wise because you're kind of just like, I'm here and I'm going to do my own thing.
Right.
Well, not my own thing, but like my thing just happens to fit into this team.
Yeah.
And yeah, go ahead, Nick. Just whatever, improvise. Just make sure that I get my 25 and 15.
Can I tell you who I think would be?
Yes. That's my next question.
Okay. I think I would be like a Kenny Anderson.
Jesus Christ.
And you would be Jeff Hornacek.
I kind of like that one. On the Nets.
Jeff Hornacek was on the Utah Jazz. He was a 2-guard for John Stockton on those NBA 96, 95 teams.
Yeah, but Kenny Anderson didn't play with Jeff Hornacek.
Oh, I'm sorry. Kenny Anderson was on the Nets. Yes, he was the point guard. Yes, and he also played for the Celtics.
Oh, you're just making up. Oh, so you can just pick any two players?
Did you not understand the question I asked?
No, I thought you meant like duos. Like famous duos.
I'm sorry. I did say duo.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was thinking just more of like any player that
You just think I'm Jeff Hornacek. You just wanted to.
Sorry. I just wanted to say Jeff Hornacek. I totally forget. Okay, duos. Oh man, Jesus. Okay, I would be Kenny Anderson. I'm still gonna stick with that, and you would be Dragan Petrovic.
That's classic. If you know anything about basketball, that was classic. I'm out. You can end the show however you want. Follow me on Instagram, Pain in My Side, and please subscribe to the fucking YouTube.
Yes, you heard the man. The man himself, Dragan Petrovic, telling you to subscribe to the Cut to the Chase podcast. We're on YouTube. I'm at Instagram at Chase Abel, ChaseAbel, www.chaseabel.com. This was our NBA recap episode, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Go Celtics.